Today, we are going deep. We're pulling back the curtain on the hidden tactics that are used to control how you think, how you feel, and how you act. This is a journey into the dark corners of psychological manipulation. And look, understanding these signs, it isn't just about gaining knowledge, it's the very first step to reclaiming your power. So let's just dive right into it. I want you to think about this for a second. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling just wrong? Like you're somehow to blame, but you can't put your finger on why? Or that confusing feeling that your own reality is being warped? Well, I'm here to tell you those feelings are almost never an accident. They are often the intended result of some very specific, very deliberate tactics. And this is the heart of it all. It's the really insidious part. We're not talking about obvious threats or aggression. We're talking about techniques so subtle they can actually feel like love, like concern. They're designed to control you without you ever realizing it. Because until you can put a name to the tactic, you can't possibly build a defense against it. So, our first sign, it doesn't start with cruelty. No, it starts with this overwhelming, almost intoxicating display of affection. It feels like a fairy tale, like you've finally found the one who truly gets you. But as we're about to see, this is often just the setup for a very, very different story. Let's be crystal clear. This is not just a whirlwind romance. Love bombing is a calculated tactic. The goal is to get you hooked on the high of that intense affection, making you emotionally dependent on them for your sense of self-worth. It establishes a powerful emotional anchor, a baseline of euphoria that they can and will later use against you. In this slide, this lays out the two faces of this cycle perfectly. First, they put you on a pedestal. This is the idealization phase. You can do no wrong. But once you're hooked, that's when the switch flips and the devaluation begins. Suddenly, the affection is withdrawn. Little criticisms start to creep in, and your self-esteem is slowly, systematically chipped away. You know, this push and pull creates an incredibly powerful psychological effect called intermittent reinforcement. It's the exact same principle that makes slot machines so addictive. Your brain actually gets hooked on the cycle, always chasing that unpredictable high from the love bombing phase. It becomes this powerful psychological anchor that keeps you in a constant state of hope and confusion. All right, next we move to a tactic that attacks the one thing you think you own, your very perception of what is real. This is where a manipulator begins to systematically dismantle your confidence from the inside out. So why do they do this? Well, the ultimate goal of gaslighting is to erode your trust in yourself so completely that you become dependent on their version of events. It's a slow burn, like a gradual poisoning of your confidence, and it's designed to leave you feeling confused, unmoored, and just perpetually uncertain of your own mind. And it almost always starts small, by challenging your memory over little things. They plant that first seed of doubt, making you second-guess a detail you were sure about. It feels insignificant at the time, but it's the first crack in the foundation of your own reality. Then, after they've targeted your memory, they come for your feelings. They'll trivialize your valid emotional reactions, reframing them as overreactions. Your hurt, your anger, it's all dismissed. And that makes you feel as though your own emotions are somehow invalid or unreasonable. And then comes the final blow, the most potent form of gaslighting. Just flat-out denial. They deny reality itself, erasing entire events you know happened. This is designed to leave you feeling completely isolated in your own mind, wondering if maybe, just maybe, you're the one who's losing touch. And what often goes hand in hand with gaslighting? Guilt tripping. It's another powerful tool in the arsenal. This is where they weaponize your own kindness and your sense of responsibility against you. Your empathy becomes a lever that they can pull anytime they want to control your actions and your choices. And this slide shows you exactly how they do it. They flip the script. By playing the victim or questioning your loyalty with phrases just like these, they position you as the bad guy. And then, suddenly, you're the one who has to apologize and make things right, no matter what they did to start it. So we've covered the mind games. Now let's see how this all evolves into more direct forms of emotional pressure. These are the weapons of coercion, and they are designed to punish you for disagreeing and to force you to comply. Make no mistake, this is not just someone needing space to cool down. The silent treatment is a deliberate act, a power play. The silence is a weapon. It's a form of punishment that communicates extreme disapproval, and it's designed to make you scramble to repair a connection that they intentionally severed. Boundary testing? You can think of it as a slow, methodical process of erosion. They start with these small violations, maybe a joke at your expense or an ignored request. If you let a small one slide, they learn they can push further. Every single unenforced boundary is a green light for them to take even more control. So, what happens when they start to expand their field of play? Well, they bring other people into the dynamic to create instability, and they use a foolproof system for avoiding any and all accountability for their actions. Triangulation is a classic divide-and-conquer strategy straight out of the manipulator's playbook. By bringing a third person into the dynamic, could be an ex, a coworker, even a concerned friend, they manufacture drama. They make you feel like you have to compete for their approval, which isolates you and completely undermines your confidence. Have you ever been in an argument with someone where suddenly you're being accused of the exact thing they're doing? Well, that's blame shifting or projection. It's like a psychological sleight of hand. They take their own negative behaviors and just project them onto you. A classic example is when they provoke you until you react and then calmly say, "See, you're the one with the anger problem." And if you ever do manage to corner them on a specific behavior, get ready for this. It's called kitchen sinking. Just as you're trying to talk about one issue right here, right now, they will unload a flood of every past grievance they can think of, real or imagined. This instantly throws you on the defensive and guarantees the original issue is never, ever resolved. Okay, that was a lot, and it's some really heavy stuff. But identifying the problem is half the battle. So we get to the most important question of all. How do you protect yourself? How do you break this cycle and begin to reclaim your own reality? Well, the most effective defense is to rebuild the trust you have in yourself. So step 1, stay grounded. This is non-negotiable. Trust your gut, trust your memory. If you have to, keep a private journal to validate your experiences. Second, set crystal clear boundaries. State your limits calmly and firmly. A manipulator's power just crumbles when no is a final answer, not the start of a negotiation. Third, limit engagement. You do not have to attend every argument you're invited to. And finally, number 4, seek support. Talk to friends, family, a therapist. These tactics only work in isolation. And that is really the crucial takeaway from all of this. It's so important to remember. Manipulation only works in the dark. Awareness is your shield. Just recognizing these patterns is the first and most powerful step you can take toward breaking free and protecting your own well-being. By understanding these tactics, you not only arm yourself, you can actually become a source of clarity for other people. So we want to end with a question for you. Which of these signs have you experienced? Sharing what you've gone through can be incredibly powerful because your story could be the light that someone else needs to see their own situation clearly, breaking the very isolation that allows this manipulation to thrive. Thank you for watching.